All right, so this question, the price of a book increased by 12%. Now, Galen, you had it right, but you didn't get, it didn't seem like you understood what you'd done or what had been explained to you. Cool? The method was perfect. Okay, so the price of a book increased. Why did I say tennis racket? All right, I know, but I thought, what's she talking about? The price of a book increased by 12%. If it now costs $18, what did it cost before the price rise? All right, what we're going to do before we actually write anything down is we're going to break down the question. This is really important. It's all wonderful to have the right answer and wonderful to say, yeah, I know how to do it because I've been shown how to do it, but you need to be able to break down the question, work out what the hell is it asking you. Let's start off. The price of a book increased by 12%. All right, so I'm going to just highlight this bit. It increased by 12% because that's pretty important. Okay, they've told us what happened. Okay, if it now costs $18, cool. And then they want to know what it cost before the price rise. Okay, they're the only bits that matter. Actually, I don't care if it's a book. It could be a tennis racket for all I care. It's a book, but I don't care. It could be an e-book. It is a cheap tennis racket, but I'm a cheap kind of guy. A thesaurus. A stegosaurus. Yes, it could be a stegosaurus. It is a cheap dinosaur. Okay, so, but the dinosaur knows that if you sell cheap to many, you make more money. Oh dear. Don't worry. Okay, the price of a book increased by 12%. Can I just ask you guys, I don't care what the price was, but as a percentage of it, what was the book? What was the price of the book before the price rise? What was it before? It was 100%. So the price of the book initially was 100% of its price. Does that make sense? Yeah, before they added to it. But then what did they do? They increased it. So what are we at now? 112%. But how much does it cost? Now that we've raised it by 12, how much does it cost? Okay, so what we can now say is $18 equals 112%. I'm just doing it above where I've highlighted things, okay? So can you see that we've now got $18 is 112% of the original price. Now we've got everything we need to work it out. What I've done there is I've just written it up randomly. I haven't done it in a logical or structured fashion. Okay, that's just what I call my thought process. I'm just doing that so I know what's going on. Cool? I'm now going to write it as I would write it as a solution. Cool? So, what are we trying to find? We're trying to find... Let's call that B. That's what we're trying to find, okay? Okay, we're trying to find book. You could call it O for original. It doesn't matter what you call it. Okay, we're trying to find B, right? And we've got a new price which equals $18, okay? Which is also that plus 12% of the book. Does that make sense? I'm just writing it up in algebraic form for me, just so that I can see what I'm doing, what maths is happening. So I've gone, all right, well, the new price is $18, and that is the book price plus 12% of the book price. Does that make sense? Because we've increased it. Okay. Which is 112% of B. Yeah? So $18 is 112% of the book. So we now know what it is. So now we have to undo it. Okay? Because we need to get back to there. Well, 112% of book, and we'll change it now to a decimal because decimals are easier in this particular case to put into your calculator. 112% is... Excellent. So now we've got $18 equals 1.12. Now instead of saying of B, how could I write that mathematically? Times B.
Just do a B.
We don't normally write down that. So it's 1.12B. Does that make sense? Okay, all I've done in that step is I've changed the percentage to a decimal, because decimals are just easier to look at in this particular case. And instead of having of b, I've just changed it to b, because when we do when we're using multiplication, and in algebra we don't normally put the little multiplication symbol in. Is that all right? Sorry? S can be a bad idea because it starts looking like a 5. Yeah, I'm very careful about the letters. Because my writing's hideous, I'm very careful about the letters I choose. Okay, so now, and this is where we start to use the inverse operations. We did it when we were changing recurring decimals to fractions. We have $18 equals 1.12 times b. I need b on its own. I have 1.12 times b. How do I get rid of that? I divide it. Well, this is already timesed. How do I undo a times? Yeah, we do what's called an inverse operation. So we do the opposite to it. So this is multiplied, we divide. If it was divided, we would multiply. If it was added, we'd subtract. If it was subtracted, we'd add. Okay, inverse operations. We just do the opposite. Okay, what can we do to undo it? So we are going to divide by 1.12. Now if I do it to this side, perfect. Yes, that cancels that. So we end up with, and I'm going to just come over to here, we end up with $18 divided by 1.12 equals B.
Why can't we just turn...
Everyone happy with that? Before you ask, everyone happy with what I've done, my process? Okay, now, what did you do?
Couldn't you just go 18?
Yep.
Divided by 12% and then minus that from 18?
Yes. Well, no, not quite. No, not quite. No. Yeah, you couldn't do 18 divided by 12% because then you'd find 12% of 18.
Oh, yeah, that's right. No worries.
You needed 12% of the original price. And that's why we've started off. We go, well, if the original price is 100%, where are we at now? We're at 112% of the original price. Yeah, so you just, I mean, you can skip, realistically, you can skip a lot of these steps and go, as soon as I know $18 is 112%, I divide it by 1.12. I mean, that's where you should get to eventually. But at the moment, I've laid out every step as logically as I can.
So 16.07 is the original price.
That is the original price. Now, if you have a worded question, you would write a worded answer. Okay, what did the question ask you to find out?
What did it cost? The book cost 16.07.
You realise we can just say 7 cents, right?
Yeah.
Cool. The book cost $16.07 before the price rise. Now, is that part important, that last part, doing that worded answer, the sentence answer? Yeah. In a lot of questions, especially when you get a bit further on, a lot of the questions will involve you writing down and finding multiple variables. Like you'll find the answers to, like we just had to find B in this particular case. That was our variable or our unknown. In a lot of questions, you're going to have to find multiple ones, and your page is going to be full of solutions to things. And so you need to let them know that you know exactly which one you were looking for. This is the one I needed at the end. This is the one the question asked for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesomeness.